we go. That looks good,
Perfect.
John.
There you
So,
go. Pick it up.
okay, I'll just communicate with you, John. So,
Okay, it's a deal.
okay, and I'll stay right here. You'll have to remind me because I like to walk. So, so, okay. Well, thank you everyone for coming tonight. So, I'm excited to share with you some messages about holiday food and things that we can do and still keep our heart health. Um, Next screen, this is just a quick overview of what I'm going to be covering. So we'll cover a lot of things, strategies, label reading, holiday, what the holidays are about, and then recipes and swaps. So next screen, a little bit about myself. So, I'm from the Quad Cities. I have 4 kids. I love art and cooking. So, great area to be here in Evanston with both those things. I'm a health enthusiast, meaning I practice what I preach. So, in a very realistic, human way. So, and then I love thrift store shopping. A little bit about my background. I'm a registered dietitian for decades. I've been before I was in Evanston, I was in the Quad Cities, and I worked in. I did a couple different things, but I worked with the intensive cardiac rehab. It's a program called Pritikin we had, and I was involved in the cooking school. It was 12 weeks long, and I was also involved in the stress workshops and the sleep workshops, and I also did outreach out in the community. So I did a lot of different things. I loved it. I did cooking classes, even separate than the Pritikin, because the Pritikin was the cooking school was on Friday all day. We did 6 classes.
Wow.
But the other days, the kitchen was like this cutting edge kitchen wasn't being used. So they asked me to create classes for it, and I created classes for the community. And they would come in, and I would do series with them. And I would watch couples lose 100 pounds, combined, and people get off medications. I loved it. And it was just, I didn't even see them individually. They just came to my classes, did the recipes, we talked about the principles, we had fun. And it's amazing when you can connect the joy of healthy eating to people and they really get it and make it a priority, that it really does change their life. So, uh, so next slide. So holidays, we think of mashed potatoes and pie and eggnog and Baileys. So I'm not here to ruin the fun or, ask you to hide from grandma's stuffing. So today we're going to look at some practical, easy ways that you can enjoy every bite. And you won't be saying after a meal, what have I done? Oh no. So now let me take you through a couple thoughts that we sometimes think around the holiday. So go ahead, John. Next one. I shouldn't have eaten that. Or next one. Why did I let myself eat so much? Or this is going to derail me for the rest of the day. Or just looking at this food puts on 5 pounds. Or I just blew it. Now it doesn't matter what I eat. I might as well just keep going. So you might have heard these are experiences, but today we're going to do away with all these 2 common thoughts around holiday food and we'll come up with strategies so that you can feel good about yourself and your heart too. So let's start with a persistent myth out there, the myth of gaining 5 to 7 pounds during the holidays. And this isn't true. What is true, though, is richer foods. We see more salt and sugar. Our routines are broken up. We have more opportunities to eat. And there's lots of messaging that encourages us to go overboard. So today, I'm not going to take away these favorite foods, but I'm going to help you enjoy them mindfully, comfortably, and confidently. So without guilt and without feeling like you're putting your heart health at risk. So let's dive into why holidays feel so hard on our eating. And it really has to do with the environment. Big food companies put out products that are seasonal items that are higher in sugar, salt, and fat. They're planning all year long for this. Okay, they want to get you to buy. It's to help their profits. It's not to help your memories. It's larger packages they often do this time of year. it's meant to feel special, or they say it's limited time only. Go ahead, John. Should be another one. There we go. Perfect. And then the aim is, again, to make profit, not positive memories. So products really hijack our fullness cues. Ultra processed products do that. I don't know if you're familiar that they override our normal wiring and they go into our pleasure centers. And they're actually what, if you get a little more down to the science, the speed of ultra processed food is faster than anything in Mother Nature. When it hits your tongue and travels to your brain, it's faster than anything you find in Mother Nature. And the faster the speed, the stronger the craving to have another. So that's why it's dangerous to have the box or the bag in front of you. So for heart health, the real issue isn't one meal, it's the whole month. So what we know from research is a couple days of overeating, your body can recover and you get back into routines. But it's a full month of high salt, high fat foods where your inflammation rises, your blood pressure can spike, your triglycerides go up. So the goal is to enjoy a day or two throughout the season and not turn December into a whole month long of holidays. So mindful eating strategies. So next slide. Step 1, slow down, savor. Our taste buds are actually the most sensitive at the first couple bites. If you pay attention to your first couple bites, the flavor will be the best. So savor those. After that, it actually is dulled. It's not as good. The pleasure goes down, but we insist on chasing it, like seeing if the next one's going to be just as good. But it's not, I promise you. You're going to have to wait a couple hours to get your taste buds back to their sensitive state. So you can put your fork down between bites. You can notice the flavors and textures of the food. Enjoy the first few bites fully. And then remind yourself that after that, it starts to make a dent into nourishment. And it's not really nourishing. So if you can just enjoy a couple bites, and then pause and feel free to stop. That way, because after those first couple bites, the taste is going to go decreasing and the effect on the health goes up. Step 2, build your plate for heart health. Before you add the richer foods at the dinner, start with half your plate filled with roasted vegetables, maybe a salad with vinaigrette, beans or lentils, fruit-based sides, or veggie-forward dishes. Why? Anybody know why we're starting with these things? Fill you up, yes. And what's in them that fills you up? Fiber, thank you, fiber. It's going to help decrease your post-meal cholesterol absorption and stabilize blood sugar. It's actually going to help you like increase the cholesterol that you excrete out of your body, but it's going to help decrease the effect in your body of cholesterol. So it's going to keep your energy steady and your heart happy. Then you can add protein maybe next. And then lastly, we can add whatever that favorite stuffing, macaroni, dessert, creamy casserole is. So small portions, full enjoyment. This is not restriction. This is honoring your heart health and your holiday. Okay, so we're going to do labels. So I'm going to pass, I've got labels here. So you can take any label that you want. Those of you at home, make sure you get a label. So we got plenty of labels here. So, okay, so we're first going to look at the serving size. Serving size, you want to flip it. You know, the front of the package is your standstill commercial. Whatever they say on the front, they're trying to get you to put it in the cart. So you flip it to the back and go to the nutrition facts. We're only going to look at a couple things because it's really only a couple things we need to pay attention to. I want to make this easy and simple and doable. So serving size, what we're doing there is we're trying to look at whether that's what we're eating, because we need to, if we're eating less, then we need to decrease the other numbers on the label. And if we're eating more, we need to increase the numbers. And if we're comparing it to another product, then we need to make sure we're comparing kind of apples to apples. So then we look at serving size, sodium. Sodium, so if we have high blood pressure, we're looking for 1,500 milligrams or less a day total, not just one product. And if we don't have, and we're not on high blood pressure meds, we go for 2,300. Now, how does that translate? Because sodium is a really shocker on the sticker of nutrition facts labels. So usually we say something like 300 milligrams or less.
Per serving?
Per serving, yeah. That's kind of an idea, but then we're keeping in the mind for the whole day. So, can we do with less if it's more than that? Can we substitute and look at the other products and see if there's something less? So, our blood pressure is sensitive to sodium, so we want to watch out for that. Items at the holiday table that are higher in salt, what are they? Celery? Celery is not high in salt.
I thought it had lots of sodium.
Not fresh celery.
No. Soups, sauces.
Maybe soups, sauces, gravies, dips, cheese ball, things like that. Then we look at saturated fat. So saturated fat, you want to, usually if you haven't seen a dietitian, we usually say about 10 grams of saturated fat for the whole day or less. That's a good, easy number to remember. 10 fingers, 10 toes, just think 10. So now the exception is the quality fats. We usually don't include in the saturated fat from whole foods that are quality whole foods that have some saturated fat. What are they? Nuts. Avocado. Seeds. Yes, and fatty fish. Okay. Usually we don't count those in the 10 grams. Okay. So compare brands and find lower. You're going to find it in cheeses, your meats, and your processed products. That's where you find the saturated fat. So added sugar. So added sugar, thank goodness, about 8 years ago, they started adding this to the label because it tells you don't want the total sugar, because the total sugar has natural. If it's a dairy product, it's going to have some lactose, which is natural sugar. If it's fruit, it's going to have some natural sugar in it. So you look at the added sugar, and this is key for triglycerides. And many people see a spike in their triglycerides the first couple of weeks after Christmas because of all they've eaten. So women, we want to keep it around 25 grams and men 36 grams. So 1 teaspoon of added sugar has 4 grams of the added sugar in it. So 1 teaspoon, 4 grams. So if you divide the number by 4, that's how many teaspoons of sugar are in it. Okay, and you'd be surprised how it starts to add up easily. So even some things that you think are good for you, whole foods, they have sugar added to it. We want to look for like OSE on the end of the ingredients, and we'll get to the ingredients list in a second, but OSE, syrups, fruit, sweetened condensed milk, those are things that have added sugar in them. And then the ingredients list. So the ingredients list, are they listed by weight or by volume? Do you know which one it's listed by? It's the UK way. By weight. Okay, so the order is by weight. They're required to do that. So that's why sometimes water is up there. But scan and look for sugars. You're going to see multiple ones: cane sugar and dextrose and evaporated, sweetened milk, condensed milk. But you want to look and see. And you want to see if it's a long list and there's a sugar in the first 5 ingredients, that's not good. And if it's the first 3 ingredients, if it's a short list. So shorter is often better, but you want to scan the whole list and look for foods that are unrecognizable. So, okay, so tell me, with the products you guys looked at, is it thumbs up or thumbs down according to our criteria? Thumbs up, thumbs up.
I have two ingredients.
You have two
got
ingredients,
one.
okay. Okay, so you've got my list. These are the products I use a lot as examples for clients for things they can find in the stores.
Yeah.
So, because people get very discouraged because there are a lot of products that are not on my approved list for sure. So, okay, holiday, next one, John. Holiday party strategies. First, don't arrive starving. You want to eat 2 to 3 hours beforehand. Okay, keep your schedule. If it's an evening meal, have your breakfast as usual. Have your lunch. Okay, you're going to have more stable blood sugar that way, and you're going to make calmer choices at the event when you're not starving. Choose your top 3 holiday favorites. Okay, it's good to just kind of whittle it down there and commit ahead of time. This year, I'm going to choose the stuffing, the pumpkin pie, and Aunt Linda's sweet potatoes. So it doesn't mean you can't have the others per se, but this is the ones that you're going to enjoy, savor. So, and that prevents random grazing. Like, I'm going to try everything and just keep going plate after plate. So, if you're at an event that has like a big table that you're going up and you're serving yourself, find a seat with your back to the buffet. Okay, it really does work. And if you're like milling around doing a social party, just make sure you're not looking at the food. Okay, so it's just really, it helps because a part of you is scanning, even if you aren't thinking about it, and is saying, oh, what about that? So out of sight, out of mind. Fourth thing is pause before you take seconds. Ask, do I want more of this, or is this just habit? Am I just feeling like I need to be busy? A lot of times, if you just hold a plate and a cup, you're good. Okay, you can just go talk to everybody with something. It feels funny without having something in your hand. So another kind of trick here to slow things down is to hold the plate in your dominant hand and use your non-dominant hand with your fork. Why is that?
Harder to do.
Yes. Are you going to eat quickly? No. No. So it's a really good trick, and it helps you be more mindful because we are gotten so used to we can do it with our dominant hand without just while we're talking, milling around, all that. But when it's our non-dominant, we got to really watch what gets on the floor. Yeah, yeah, but that's what the dog is for. Watch that run. Yes, yes. So alcohol, we have alcohol, and of course, some people on medications is totally a no-no. But start thinking about, the triglycerides are going to be affected if we have a lot of sugar in the alcohol. It's going to get a spike. Usually what I recommend when I talk to clients is alternate between water and having a light alcohol drink. Maybe for some of my clients, we'll discuss, do you think it'd be a good idea to set a guardrail for the night? Like, I'm going to have one drink and that's it, sort of thing. And ahead of time, make that commitment. Because guess what happens when you're in the moment? What kind of decision do you make? Poor decision. Thank you. Yes. 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 We do much better planning because when we plan ahead, we're thinking of our goal, heart health, of not feeling yucky the next morning. So if we make that intent, I'm going to just enjoy without any alcohol or with one drink. And then we go and commit to that. Whereas if we wait until we see who's there, what alcohol there is, and how the night goes, very likely we're going to make a different decision. And you can alternate with like sparkling water too. Some people will do that. There's a lot of different options nowadays. So you can do some non-alcoholic options. Eggnog. Okay, what's the problem with eggnog?
Oh, it's so fattening.
Oh my goodness, lots of saturated fat, tons of egg yolks, added sugar. So just, I'm not gonna say no, but just be aware. And actually, a lot of these Christmas traditions that your grandparents knew about and that maybe you started, we have to back up and go, okay, what was their life like? Okay, so their life was very different. Okay. Around the holidays, they were outside in freezing cold for hours doing physical labor. Many of them, our grandparents were. And then they came in and had a warm something rather that was laden with fat. Well, they had just worked a lot of physical labor. This was one thing, one night. It's a whole different thing than our all month long. And we aren't doing the physical labor that they were doing. And it's going to sit in our bodies completely differently. So we have to remember some of these traditions. We like to hold them up. That's great. But be discerning. We don't need to have all the things. So it helps to understand. Another thing is the commercialization. So this is interesting. Do you know what the original color of Santa Claus was? No. Do you know which country invented Santa Claus, first of all? It's across the pond.
German.
Germany, yes. Do you know what color it was over 100 years ago? Green. Do you know who changed it to red? A truck that was jingling bells back in, I don't know when it was, the 50s, 60s? It was Coca-Cola.
Really?
Coca-Cola painted Santa red. Commercialization. They're very clever. Okay, mindset reset. Next slide. So, there's no food that has power over you. We give food power. There's no one food that can ruin your meal, ruin your health in one setting. There's no such thing as blowing it. These are all things that we give the power to food. Guilt still steals away the joy of the holidays. It damages self-trust, and it leads to overeating. Instead, notice your thoughts and have self-compassion. I work with clients a lot to get them to stop shoulding themselves, because shoulding leads to overeating and shame. And once we can just let go and have self-compassion, guess what? The power is gone from the food. And guess what? We enjoy the occasion. We enjoy the food, but we don't overdo it. Now, I don't ever talk about good, bad, putting labels on things like that. That's marketing really does that for food. Marketing's the one that makes food sound like it's your friend. And when you're feeling happy, you should celebrate with food. When you're feeling sad, you should, get comfort from food. So just when things go different than planned, just ask yourself, what is one small action that I can do right now that shows I care about my heart? And that might be getting a drink of water. That might be taking a deep breath. It might be going for a walk around the room even, if you can't go outside. But the idea is we tend to label ourselves as, oh, I did horrible. I can't believe I blew that. Or I feel really guilty. How come I just can't refrain myself? But those don't help. And so sometimes people will be like, oh, I'll just start over in the morning. And I'm really not, I get the idea behind that, but I'm not a fan of that. I actually teach right when you recognize that something's gone differently, it's part of the journey. It's not who you are. You choose in the moment who you are. And in that moment, I want you to just have self-compassion, first of all. And second of all, just take an action that is in favor and in line with your priorities. Deep breath, call a friend, get a glass of water, do 5 squats, anything that says, I am a person that values my health. And this is who I am. The true gifts of holidays, we tend to get really focused on the food. And I know food's important, don't get me wrong, I have traditions and things like that. But really, really, when we get down to it, the true gifts are the conversations with loved ones, the laughter and the fun during games and activities, creating new memories and traditions, listening to holiday music, watching children and grandchildren and their excitement, enjoying the cozy winter atmosphere. I think we're getting that tonight. Relaxing and unwinding, sharing and generosity and gratitude. These are all things that the holidays are about, and we want to focus on them. I worked with one client. She comes from a family that food is a big, big, big part of their love language. So much so, I mean, it's a big part. And she's like, if I eat like we're talking about, I'm going to be done with my meal. And what do? Everybody's going to be eating still. And we talked about that. Like, you can have a conversation with people, So she started thinking up questions she could ask people and have conversations with and things she can do. Because it's not just about the food. The food brings us together and we enjoy that. But we want to keep focus on really the gems of the holidays. And that's the people and the connections that we do. Okay, next slide. So the recipes, I talked a little bit about them so I'll just briefly go through them. The dark chocolate edamame bark. So now, John, I assume you're going to send the recipe to everybody for all these?
Yes, we'll put them on our website and in our newsletter, so
Okay.
we get them.
Okay.
Sorry, I was supposed to print those off today and that completely slipped my mind.
That's okay.
So-
That's okay.
You're forgiven.
That's okay. So the dark chocolate edamame is just 2 ingredients. You see the 70% Lindt chocolate I use. I just melt it, dump a bunch of edamame in there, spread it out on parchment or wax paper, put it in the freezer, break it up, and it's ready. So we're going to taste some tonight. Pumpkin spice chia pudding. Okay, so 2 ingredients I love in the pumpkin spice chia pudding that are very healthy for us. What are they?
Cinnamon?
Well, you could add those. Yes, I was thinking of 2 others. Pumpkin is super high in fiber. So it's got beta carotene in there too. Those are great things for us. And the chia is omega-3s. Now it's not the same as fatty fish. I don't want to get confused, but omega-3s still are good for your heart health too. So the chia in there are really great. So I've got this. It's just I made it with soy milk, and chia, just a little bit of maple syrup and some spices too in there. But it's very simple, very easy to make. I dropped some pomegranate on the top because it's so pretty this time of year. That splash of red. So does everybody know how to deseed a pomegranate? Okay, you cut it in half. What?
Underwater.
Underwater. Oh, I've heard that before, but you lose the juice because what I do, my favorite wine is actually fresh pomegranate juice. That's it. I pour it in a wine glass and I enjoy it. So you cut it like a tomato, like in half this way. And then you've got 2 beautiful halves, showing the seeds. If you've got good grip strength, you take a big bowl and you just kind of scrunch it like this. If you're a pickleball player or something, you can probably do that and just squeeze it. Okay, and it'll start to loosen it. So, and then you can flip it. Then you flip it inside out, and you can just take out the seeds. Yes. So if you don't have the grip strength, then what you can do is, this is actually more fun. So you make sure you're wearing red. Okay, do not wear white. So you take a big bowl. And then you take it where you take the half and you put it so that the seeds are going to fall through your fingers. So you have that down, then you take a wooden spoon and just start hitting and softening it. And over time, it will soften the seeds, the physics of it will force it down. So it will start to fall. And I've done that for classes because it's a lot of fun. You get de-stressed that way. So, but a pomegranate is just so fun. You can put raspberries on top of pumpkin spice chia pudding too. It's real pretty. You can also do like some nuts on top if you want to. Creamy white bean hummus. The reason I did that is because I'm able to make it without any oil. So this hummus tonight is with just lemon juice, tahini, and a little seasoning with it. You can add some oil, olive oil, and I have some extra virgin olive oil here. You want to look for California and make sure it has this, either of these two trade kind of certifications. Then you know you're getting extra virgin olive oil because you know there's a lot of fraud. So unless you like visited the Italian vineyard where it came from, I would not trust, Italian or Greek extra virgin olive oils. Now Costco is the one exception. They do make sure they have theirs are checked and made sure they are, but even the expensive ones in the grocery store, even Trader Joe's, I do not trust. There's just so much fraud, guys. Okay. The fancy names do not cut it. So, but I have some vegetables here that you can dip the hummus in. Let's see, the other ones were California or cauliflower sweet salad. So it's, if you look at the recipe, it's beautiful. And I make it probably twice a month. So it uses the when it's in season, you use the pomegranate seeds. So you don't even have to cook the cauliflower. Okay. It uses white balsamic. Okay, I have to get it at Jewel. For some reason, other places, Walmart won't carry it. I don't know why. But it's a smaller, but it's white balsamic because the cauliflower looks gross if you use regular balsamic. It's still just like balsamic, but the white, and I actually make it, and I make like a big, huge bowl of it, and my 16-year-old won't touch it, which is fine. So I will eat it all week long. It stays. Okay. It's not like lettuce. It won't go bad. So, and then the last recipe there was melt in your mouth squash bowls using spaghetti squash, using like a tomato bean filling there, cooking it, and then just a little bit of cheese on top. So these are just some great recipes for taking advantage of some of the foods that are in season. So, okay, thank you, John. So which food should you eat first? What do you think from what I said?
The veggies.
The veggies. Yeah, the veggies. Now, I mean, fish is great, but I would actually start with the veggies. That's going to fill you up there. So the veggie soup. So yes, next slide. So you can eat either salad or a veggie soup. That's ideal, actually. So that fills you up. It actually kind of creates a fiber net if you slow down and eat your salad or your veggie soup. So that goes in your small intestine first, starts to fill you up. And then you go on to your protein. And then lastly, you're like, oh, I'm pretty full right now. I'll just have a little bit of that stuffing or whatever. So it's very strategic. So next slide. So how confident are you that you can eat to savor food and keep your heart happy through the holidays now? What'd you say, Dave?
I said 8.
I thought I heard 8. So Dave said 8. So he's confident. So yeah. I hope so. I hope you've gone up a couple points. So from today. So so if you'd like more nutrition tips, so the next slide, John, then I have a nutrition newsletter that I send out every week. So you can get recipes and valuable tips. That's a QR code, or you can go to my website and I have at the bottom there, you can sign up there. So, and the last slide, John, or second to last slide, if you want individualized help. So I do have a private practice here. I am credentialed with insurance, all the major insurances. Unfortunately, Medicare, you have to have diabetes diagnosis or kidney disease and not be on dialysis for me to see you. So, and I only get 3 visits for diabetes a year. So it's I don't set the rules, but Blue Cross Blue Shield and United Healthcare, I get several visits for people, and it's usually 100% covered. So, but I help people. A lot of people will say, I know what to do. I just need to get myself to do it. And the problem with that is it's not just knowing what to do, it's getting it instilled in your lifestyle. A lot of people know what to do, but they aren't doing it. And that's where I can help. I help with changing how you see food, how you connect to food, make those small changes so you're not using willpower, because willpower is not the way you want to go. Okay, so so last slide. Thank you very much. So questions? Yes.
Hummus, instead of oil, I use half a cup of salsa.
Oh, half a cup.
That's
Yep.
really good.
Half a cup of salsa is a great idea. Salsa is a great idea. So I have, it's a vegetable and it spices things up. So yes, I love that idea. So I'd never done that with the hummus. So yeah, it's very versatile, the hummus. So great idea there. Other questions?
Can I just,
We ready to try out? Yes.
This is not especially holiday.
Yeah.
But is there, if we try to not have any saturated fat, would that be healthy? Or do our bodies need a little bit?
I don't know what the minimum requirement is, but here's the thing. There's a difference between saturated fats and what they do. I said the nuts and the fatty fish. So the easiest way of thinking of it, is your liver has receptors for saturated, for LDL. And saturated fat, the good kinds of saturated fat, make the receptors more receptive and they pick up more of the LDL from the bloodstream then. That's good. Whereas the bad, or I hate to use bad, but you know what I mean. So the ones that from the meat to the processed, those make us less sensitive. So we're less likely to grab it from the bloodstream. So in answer to your question, it is not good to eliminate all saturated fat. So what we find, and this has gotten so clouded over from the 80s, remember when we went to non-fat to those Ucky Stackwells? So that's not the right message. We actually find your heart is better, your heart health, when you swap out these unhealthy saturated fats with the healthy ones, the polyunsaturated fats, those, okay? The message got, just go to non-fat. And what happened was everybody got all this refined kind of carbs, and that actually is worse. I mean, not worse, but it's definitely not good. So yeah, so I would not take, like nuts and fatty fish, they're all even saying 3 times a week. It used to be 2. Now they're up to, especially when you talk about dementia, getting up to 3 times. Now, you know which fish, which are the premium fish. They spell out smash. Salmon, mackerel, anchovy, sardine, herring. Okay, those are the premium ones. Now, all fish are much higher than anything else in our food supply. So we want to stay away from tuna. It has a lot of great fat in it, but it's higher in mercury. So because it's a bigger, older fish, it eats a lot of little fish and it builds up the mercury. So tuna, I don't usually recommend that. So, but the smash and salmon's the easiest one for people unless you're Scandinavian, and I'm Scandinavian. I can't eat sardines and anchovies and so mackerel. So, yes. Does that help answer?
Yeah.
Okay. John, did you have a question?
no, I just wanted to say that if you're using prepared salsa, some of those are very high in salt. So it's always,
Yes. Reading it for
read
the
the
low
label.
salt.
you know, always read the label or make your own, be easier. Right?
Yeah. Very good point. Yes. Other questions about anything to do with food, heart health? Okay, you ready to try some samples?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, grab a plate. So grab a plate.